And good morning, everybody. We're here on the Morning Waffle. It's Halloween. We're dressed as a sheriff, a pastor, and a lawyer. We hope to see you soon. We'll talk a little more about that right after this. And here we are, yes. Oh, good morning, everybody.
I think I slipped that in right before.
I think you did. I don't think anybody heard that. But, it's okay. That's a nice conversation between the two of you. All good. How you been, Sheriff?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
Good.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, this is a nice treat. I feel very safe and secure.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should.
Everybody you don't have a gun.
So you're here today to talk about razor blades and in the candy bags and all that sort of thing, right? The typical police Halloween talk.
I saw on Twitter yesterday that they're trying to slip vaccines in there.
So trying to put what in there?
Vaccines.
In the candy. I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true. Yeah.
My blog article last week, I write a weekly blog for my church, was, dress up like John Calvin, Martin Luther, and tack 95 Thesis on everybody's door when you leave.
Happy Reformation Day.
Happy Reformation Day to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did say, but in all seriousness, it'd be awesome if in exchange for the candy, you handed everybody a Bible back. That would be
and
that'd be
95
great.
Theses.
Yeah, and the 95 Theses, and the 5 solas.
And the 5 solas, that's right, yeah.
I just need to nail it to the door.
Somebody asked me, it's kind of funny, I lead a security team at church on the 5th Sundays. We're the 5th team, so we only do 4 Sundays.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a lame commitment.
I know. It's very, very low. It was perfect. And somebody asked me, I can't remember exactly what the question was, but it just came out. I said, well, we're Calvinist security. It's free. You're completely secure. You don't have to do anything, but we choose who we protect.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Nice reference.
Yeah. Well done.
Nobody's going to get that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, theology humor is great. There's just very few of us that really get it.
Yeah, you're completely secure, but we'll decide if we're secure or not. But.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, Sheriff, I know that kind of one of your topics of interest is truth in sentencing.
Oh, sure.
And so I know you like to talk about that, and I'd love to give you the opportunity to do that. Plus, anything else. You've got probably 5 whole people watching right now.
And speaking of things nobody knows what you're talking about, I mean,
well,
help us out.
Yeah, well, truth in sentencing is we got to pass the House. There were probably 5 or 6 different versions last year.
Higher to your mouth
went
there.
Through. It's like any bill. I don't think we were really happy with any of the 5, but all of them were a step in the right direction. For you guys who don't know, long and short of it is truth in sentencing is just the concept that what the judge says actually happens.
Okay.
So in Missouri, that's not even close to a true statement. They don't. It
never plays out that way.
No, not even close. I mean, not even the wheelhouse. So.
Well, and part of the issue is the judges don't really have any control over that whatsoever. So
there's a statute. I think it's 558019, and it's what they call the minimum sentencing statute. And Missouri is technically a truth in sentencing state, where what the judge says goes. But then what happened was a few paragraphs later, they've undermined all of the judge's discretion to actually sentence somebody, even though it was originally in those guidelines that was set by the legislator, which is what it's supposed to be when it comes to separation of powers. And the paragraph below basically undermines all that. Gives a lot of the discretion to the Board of Probation and Parole, and of course they have all kinds of earned compliance, so that if you're good for a day, you get a day off, kind of stuff like that. Once they reach probation and parole, and there's just a million different ways to not enforce justice, so it makes it hard.
Yeah, the federal system actually really does have truth in sentencing. I mean, if you get 86 months, you're going to do 86 months.
85%.
Yeah, you're going to do a lot of it. And some of the Missouri, golly, it's been so long since I've been out of that criminal world that I can't remember. There's the dangerous felonies,
Right.
where if you're convicted of a dangerous felony in Missouri, you will do a minimum of 85% of that sentence. But the vast majority of felony sentences, the offenders do some percentage. In fact, they will call it, they issue
Unless
what's called,
it's their first offense.
which they may do none of it.
Well, yeah, so you got to catch them doing major felonies twice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in order for it to get to that point. But
And with all the different channels, everybody compromises just a little bit. So I always call it the one chance theory. The sheriff catches you doing something one time, and he kind of gives you the warning and gives you a lecture, and then the prosecutor catches you. Well, next time you're going to court, and then the judge catches you, and he's like, well, this is the first time I've seen you. But in reality, it's the third time you've done it.
Yep.
And but he, and then gets put on probation, and then a little bit of time passes, they get caught again, and he's really been caught 4 times, and he's in front of the judge. He's like, look, I don't have a conviction.
right, no conviction.
He's literally been caught
never been
4
convicted,
times, but I don't have a conviction.
right.
And so they, eventually they get sentenced or whatever, and then they get up there to DOC, and they get to DOC, and DOC is like, well, it's your first commitment. And that's when the words change. Everything's conviction in the beginning, but then at the end when they actually measure the time, it has nothing to do with conviction. It has to do with commitments. And they say, well, it's your first commitment to prison, so none of the previous count.
Probably only going to do 15% on a lot of offenses on first commitments when people get sent to prison.
Well, the first one's almost always a 120.
Yeah,
Almost
true.
always.
So probably it's good that I'm the layman sitting over here to kind of
20 days.
for all the people out there watching that I'm representing you, right? I'm lost here. So is this because it's too expensive to incarcerate? Is this because we're just too soft as a people now? Like why does it play out this way?
Yes.
Yes to both.
There's more.
I don't fall for the narrative that it's too expensive.
Well, right, but that's what we hear, right? That's
well, you
what
hear
we're
things
told.
like private prisons abuse the system. We don't have any private prisons in Missouri. You hear things like we're overcrowded. There were 35,000 people in prison in 2017. Now there's 23,500. But there's a philosophical concept that we need to treat the problems almost like a medical condition as opposed to actually punish people in lieu of justice. Well, it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't seem, that experiment didn't seem to go very well, but it was kind of common sense to begin with. The best way to prevent crime in a free society is by punishing the last one. I can't prevent you from doing anything unless I just happen to catch you in the act.
Right.